All right, welcome everybody. Another fabulous Metal Monday with my friend Brett. How you doing, Brett?
I've seen greener Mondays, but
It's
that
a red
seems to
one.
be that we were kind of getting in. It was like red every Monday, so
Yep.
it's just kind of like we should be used to it by now.
We had a few green
We did.
Mondays.
Last Monday was a barn burner. It was
It
good.
was awesome. Yeah, today's it's off about 5 cents on copper.
Yeah.
It's still still hovering around that 360 mark though. I mean, which that's still awesome. But aluminum's really cooled off. Nickel's really cooled off. Ferrous, some of the reports on that, it sounds a little stronger though.
Yeah, I think people are hoping, talking up that we could be bottoming out, right? So, like kind of like my podcast with Chad.
Yep.
Every month this is the bottom, this is the bottom. We like to call bottoms
Yep.
because that means that there's ups coming. But I am hopeful that this month that this could be the bottom. So it's everybody. Everything I read is talking about the ferrous, off the East Coast, and is finding some strength, and at least the export side. So it's really going to be, what does the domestic look like, for us. So.
And I talked to Eddie Ornstein last week. He said the export on like brass and copper is really strong too right now.
Good.
So that's really pushing that. Like that's a lot more competitive, which could help when you're shipping brass or any red metals.
I'm really interested to see. One thing that caught my eye last night was, the Chinese cut in their interest rates. Everybody else in the world's raising their interest rates, trying to get ahead of inflation. But the Chinese economy, for multitude of reasons, they're struggling. And you could. I'm not going to take a deep dive into that right now. But the reality of it is, if they're going to push hard to drive their economy, back from COVID and back from this real estate crunch they've got, then that's going to mean there's going to be some back to 9, 10, when some real money some real commodities got pushed in there on their infrastructure build. I don't know if it's going to be as similar to that, but I'm kind of more on the optimistic side that, they had to cut their rate because their economy truly is slower than anticipated. But like I know, at least I believe, that deal could set off another strong commodities push. And maybe even if it's temporarily, I feel like that actually in the medium to short run could actually be a positive sign for commodities, not negative like it's being kind of looked at this morning.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize during all these commodity runs we've seen this last year and a half, China's been just in the background, not doing much, So if they really get into the market and become a big player again, who knows where copper goes?
Yeah.
Who
knows where copper goes? Who knows how, where aluminum goes, where, the PGMs go?
Yeah.
It's just going to be an interesting dynamic. And I think that's what I love about this business, this industry. We can sit around and pontificate and fucking guess, but the reality of it is none of us know. We're just kind of, looking and trying to read the tea leaves. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, where there's red, there's green somewhere else, and just trying to figure out what that next move looks like. But I'm still fairly optimistic on commodities. What I'm not optimistic on, like we were just discussing in our production meeting, is the flow, right?
Yes.
And I think that will translate into commodity prices stabilizing or being stronger. I was reading an article from on Kitco this morning. It was Goldman Sachs. They were talking about this anticipated commodities, downdraft in pricing. What people aren't taking into consideration is, mining has production rates are coming down, right? Flow of scrap, whether it's because of construction or demolition or whatever, manufacturing is slowing down. So there's going to be less commodities available. So depending on where the pockets of strength are, it's going to be commodities pricing could actually hold its own or see significant strength just because people are over anticipating the downdraft in production and not anticipating the lack of supply.
I know the demo guys I talked to, they said they're not quoting nearly as much as they typically should be. So that's a sign that they're going to be slow here in 6 months, you know?
Yep.
That stuff can change quickly. But I feel that same way. A lot of our commercial accounts, they're not like slow, but they're not booming like they were, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a sign. Like, that's what's really cool about our industry. We can see like some of the stuff coming through the chute before it really happens. You can kind of see with the real like nature of how these different sectors of business are. But I'm optimistic to a fault.
Yeah.
And it's a weakness I have where I'm just overly optimistic, but I still think we got some
There's
juice
a dynamic in there right now
Yeah.
and on the supply side,
Yeah.
right? Like commodities prices are getting pushed down and probably for rightfully so with, you know, everything starting to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
But does it overshoot and go down too far and then the supply side comes into effect and doesn't, you know, and basically takes the gas out of it and say, okay, like we're gonna have to pay more to buy these commodities because they're just not out there, right? And that's when you start seeing some increase in pricing. So
We'll see how it shakes out.
it'll be interesting to see.
Are you seeing a better demand for stainless, anything like that, or
Not really.
aluminum? It's the same.
Not really. I think it's the same. I mean, I feel like that. Like I said, my gut says maybe fall, but if I have to pile it taller and higher for longer, I will.
Got it.
But we're sitting on a pretty good jag of stainless right now,
Gotcha.
just
All right.
for that reason.
Well, I'm hoping we have a Green Monday, a week from today, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yep, I love it.
All
Hope
right.
everybody gets their kids back to school. It's time. It's that time of year.
Yep.
All right. Have a great week.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.